Wow. This football club does a great job of loving them but hating them at the same time, because I have been on the club's case pretty much all season, but in today's game, oh my days. There was so much that went down today. Bloody hell. You know, the second half being extremely frustrating. The manager waiting until the 70th minute to bring on changes. I know he brought on Saliba at half time, but attacking changes when we were 1-0 down. And then, obviously, the referee and the VAR being absolute dog shite, which of course we'll get onto later on. But yeah, we find ourselves in the 95th minute with just pure euphoria because we've won at St James's Park for the first time in 2023. So 3 years ago was our last victory at St James's Park, and what a way to do it as well. That is how you win a league title. You always find a way to win. Despite the injustice, you still find a way to win. Because if we would have gone on to lose the game or even drawn the game, I would have been definitely cussing the team today because, again, just showing another example of, you know, us not breaking down these low blocks. And of course we had to win it via a set piece again. 2 set pieces, in fact. The first one, Mikel Merino is coming on for, I don't even know who he came on for. Oh God. Who did Merino come on for? Was it for Saka? But Martinelli also came on. I don't know. You might have to correct me in the comment section. But I'm pretty sure it was... Oh no, it was Calafiori, wasn't it? Yeah, Calafiori. He came off, I believe, for Merino. The fan base was going into meltdown and we were like, what? Merino? Off the bench? But at the same time, right, these are the sort of games that you bring Merino on for. Not to start in midfield, because we know what he offers. But off the bench, because he is lethal in the box, he can, you know, he can get his head to the ball. And he's a deadly finisher as well. And that header was excellent. Great ball by Declan Rice as well, who defensively I thought was immense today. His delivery, again, apart from, I would say, the first goal, wasn't great, to be honest with you. But defensively, off the ball, worked his bollocks off. And then the second goal, I actually can't remember who got the assist, to be honest. Was it Odegaard who took the corner? I'll get on to Odegaard as well later on, because he deserves a mention. But it may have been Odegaard, I don't know. We whipped the ball in, and, you know, Gabriel's there. And I tell you what, right, I thought we deserved to win that game. I thought we were the better team. Opening 30 minutes, I thought we were excellent. Probably the best we've played all season. The best we've actually started a game as well. Because it's usually in the second half where we start to, you know, pick things up. And we start scoring goals. We end up, you know, breaking the deadlock pretty much every time we get that first goal. This time out, we went 1-0 down, which was after the run of play, if you ask me. Because, you know, Pope made some blinding saves. 2 from Eze. 1 from Timber in the second half. Speaking of the second half, I thought at times we huffed and puffed and it just, nothing was falling for us until, of course, the set pieces. The changes, as I said, were odd. Merino coming on, I would definitely have not made that change. It was not on my bingo card for 2025. Coming on and scoring a late equaliser. But at least, right, at least we grabbed the ball that time. We took it back to the halfway line. And we recycled. Look, Newcastle are going to be crying about the penalty that didn't get given on Gabriel. Gabriel, though, today, I'm not going to lie, he's a lucky man, because for the first goal, he was really poor. I don't think it was a foul, in my opinion. And then he got away with a situation with, I think it was Voltmarder, wasn't it? Where he threw an elbow or a forearm, it may have been. And he was lucky that VAR didn't, pick up on that. But the penalty, I think he was lucky, but it was the correct decision in the end because it came off his shin before it hit his arm. If it didn't come off his shin, then, that would have been a penalty. And I think it was 1-0 at the time, so it would have been game, set, match in that situation. But, we don't really care, really. Gabriel scored the winner. And I think that's his first goal of the season as well. So nice to see him getting amongst the goals once again. Our penalty, though, was an absolute disgrace. Right? And I keep hearing, this narrative about Pope getting the ball. Right? And look, they're not lying. Pope touched the ball. But the only reason Gyökeres didn't end up getting to the ball once he went round the goalkeeper was because Pope took him out with his knee. Furthermore, the ref obviously didn't end up giving the penalty after checking on VAR. Why the fuck was it a drop ball? Like, what? He didn't even give a corner for it. And, look, again, as I said, if we would have dropped points today, or if we would have lost, then I wouldn't have made that as an excuse. But now we've won the game, that has to be a talking point for me. That's not obviously the worst decision I've seen, but considering we've had decisions like that given, right? Penalties in particular. Last season, when they gave a penalty for, I think it was when Saliba and João Pedro clashed heads, but Saliba won the ball. But they still gave it. I remember when we played Brighton last year and we won 3-0. They gave a penalty despite Lamptey touching the ball, but it took out Jesus. And this one isn't any different. We saw an incident last week where Sanchez touched the ball, but, he was sent off for it. Because it was last man. Not to say that it wasn't a red card, because it's a blatant red card from the keeper. Because he's out of control in that situation. And I'm not saying this specifically is a red card, but it's a penalty. It's not human error because the referee's already made his decision. But it's clearly been told in his ear, Pope's touched the ball, but they're not noticing that he took Gyökeres out at the same time. I don't know, how hard it is to grasp. How? How was that not a penalty is just beyond me. I think man of the match today, it's difficult. I'd probably say Jurrien Timber. He was by far our best player. And this is what you get from Jurrien Timber every single week. Constant 7, 8, even a 9 out of 10. Every single week. So consistent. And he is top 2 right backs in the Premier League. And he's not second. I mean, miss me with Reece James, Munoz, whoever, right? Jurrien Timber has been the best right back in the Premier League this season, undoubtedly. Because of his consistency. And last season, he was immense despite playing with an injury. So he was excellent today. I thought Gyökeres played really well today, actually. I would have liked him to improve his hold-up play, but his link-up was tremendous. Absolutely outstanding from him. In fact, no, it wasn't outstanding, but he had a decent game, I would say. The only... Well, the other thing as well, I would say, was the finish. The only thing that was missing as well from Gyökeres' game was a goal. He should have won a penalty, 100%. And... yeah, I thought there wasn't there a moment where he slipped over as well? But apart from that, for what he was there for, he'd done the basics really well. And that was arguably one of his better performances this season, if you ask me. Not to say he's been terrible, but the fact we actually played the ball into him a lot more today. And I thought he was solid. Trossard today was probably our worst player. I just don't know what he offers when he starts games, if I'm being honest with you. He's an impact player off the bench. At the same time, if you would have started Martinelli, I don't think there would have been much of a difference between the two, because both are, again, players to come off the bench. And I'll tell you what, the last thing I want to mention was Odegaard when he came on. First game since his injury he picked up against Forest at home. And I thought he completely and utterly changed the game. And I know I like to cuss Odegaard a lot, especially in the last 8 months or so. I've really been on his case. But today I thought he changed the game. He was really insightful in the final third. That pass he played to Lewis Skelly was scintillating. And we need more of this consistency from Odegaard if he wants to win his place back. Because I thought Eze had a solid game in there. Snapped a couple of really good attempts from outside the box, which were well saved by Nick Pope. And again, we looked far more fluid, especially in the opening 30 minutes, with Eze on the pitch than we do with an Odegaard. And even with Ethan at the start of the season as well, when he played against Leeds and Nottingham Forest, we looked far more fluid. So I want to see that more often. But again, Odegaard came on and he changed the game. So perhaps, that sort of competition has woken him up slightly. And I thought he was really good when he came on. I can't remember exactly if he did get the assist for the second goal, didn't he, from the corner. Excellent delivery. So he definitely deserves a lot of credit. But again, we need to see more of that consistency. So, guys, 3 points, 2 points behind Liverpool. I mean, if we would have dropped points today, it would have been a catastrophe, especially with what occurred during the weekend. I mean, Chelsea lost, Liverpool lost, Spurs dropped points. It was a must-win today. A draw wouldn't have been good enough, especially what happened against Man City last week. We had to beat Newcastle today away from home, and that's exactly what we've done. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about the game. A lot, I know, to get off my chest, but I just had to. The penalty was a disgraceful decision. And, I guess we just have to manifest the Geordie tears today, I'm telling you, because they're not going to be happy with the penalty decision, but oh well, hold that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.